Hey, I'm Darcy.
I'm Abby.
I'm Keith.
And we are here to talk about this Sunday, which is Vision Sunday. Vision Sunday is a time when we look back at what the Lord has done in 2023, and then we also look forward. But let's talk a little bit about what we're thankful for. How about you, Keith?
I'm thankful for so much, but I think about this table, as we're sitting at a table in table groups, and how we challenged our church to use the table at their home to invite people, friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, to gather around Jesus and wrestle with this question, what's the good life? And so many people said yes. It was really exciting. And as a result, people are having these important life conversations, and some of them are continuing to meet. Table groups are over now, but we've got groups that are we're gonna keep meeting. We're gonna be a life group, we're gonna keep these conversations going. And to me, that's so much to be thankful for. How about you, Abby?
Yeah, I love how it hasn't just been the older church population of City Church, but I've seen even the youth do this. I've seen the youth be like, let's have brunch and let's gather around and invite our friends and talk about things that matter. Yeah. Just that the call is not just for the older generation, that it's for the young too. Has been really cool to see.
So you mentioned youth. It makes me think of how many Sundays we were pray for a youth pastor.
Yes.
And you may have heard we were able to hire Wade, who is already a part of our City Church family, and we are so excited. You know, I'm also thinking of, it took a long time to get there. And sometimes in the waiting, it's amazing to see how the Lord provides.
Yeah.
And I think of you, Abby, how the Lord really brought you to the youth group and how you have ministered really well to them. We've had other interns who served really faithfully in the youth as well. I'm really thankful for that. In the angst, you're the Lord really provided in more than we can imagine, really.
Yeah.
It's been fun to see, I live with one of those teenage girls in my house, and I've seen how much she's grown as a result of that. I mean, talk about youth ministry, or even about Alpha as a part of youth ministry, because to me, that's one of those things that's a real blessing over the last year.
Yeah, it's been almost a year. I remember last Vision Sunday, the Lord really was starting to stir my heart for what it could look like to partner with City Church. And over the 10 months interning, now being a fellow full-time, the Lord has just taught me so much. The Lord has used the youth to teach me to grow in ministry. I've gotten to learn alongside of the pastoral staff and be poured into and lead awesome things like Alpha.
So cool. You know, I think about the cohorts that have been a big part of growing together as a church, and following Jesus. And Gabe hosted one called Flourishing in the Third.
That's right.
I remember sitting with Officer Joe, and he was like, third. I thought I had 4 quarters. Just laughing at that idea. But about finishing well in our lives. And we had so many people, a part of that cohort, who walked out of it thinking, I want to make it count.
There was a real need, yeah.
And there were some guys who were like, look, as older men, we want to pour into younger men. We want to help them. And as a result, we started working together with some deacons and formulated this plan for what we're calling Spiritual Brothers. We just launched that this last week. And we're inviting guys to come be trained. And to me, that's another thing we can be really thankful for, that God's using so many conversations we're having to grow us and then position us to help others grow. Yeah. That's really cool.
You know, I'm looking forward in 2024 that maybe us girls can get something like that together.
Yes.
I love
It's
that,
coming.
because the heart was truly about growing together. And I know that there's got to be women out there who would want the same thing. I also think of Grief Share. We were talking about Grief Share and how that's a ministry that comes alongside people who have really had the loss of a loved one. And I can think of hearing how that ministry brought hope and community during a time when, that would be really essential.
Yeah.
So I'm super thankful for the people who were part of that, and just for the hope that the Lord gives us in hard times.
And I love that hope has been extended beyond the walls of the church.
Yeah.
That I've gotten to see Fran talking about her friends that are now from beyond the church and in the community. Kind of the same thing with Alpha. Just being able to really walk through life with these people beyond the 4 walls of City Church.
Yeah. It's an answer to prayer. And then I'm sitting here thinking, this is just the 3 of us. What about the whole church? what would you guys say with the question, like, how did you see God move in the last year? Or what are you thankful for? We want you to think about it. And then we want you to come Sunday ready to just overflow in worship, to thank God with us for all He's done, and also look ahead, to be prayerful with us about 2024 as we continue to follow Jesus, grow together, and serve others. We'll see you Sunday.